everyone, and welcome back to the Nintendo Boys Power Podcast. Today I am joined by, you guessed it, no one, because no one was available for like the past month. I don't know why. But today, I just figured I'd just do it alone because we went off track with the Powered Podcast, and I'd just like to apologize for regular watchers or listeners of the podcast. I apologize for the lack of them last month, but, well, thank you all for tuning in, and here we are, talking about the Game Awards today. Sorry about being late again. I was pretty busy that entire week of the Game Awards. So right off the spot, let's get to one of the first nominees, and since this is called the Nintendo Boys Powered Podcast, let's keep it relatively Nintendo related. So our first nominee would be the Best Fighting Game of the Year, which obviously, no surprise there, went to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. No surprise there again. There has been lots of work poured into the game by Masahiro Sakurai, so hey, it won Best Fighting Game. Everyone saw that coming. Moving on to Best Strategy Game, it was the winner of the Best Strategy Game, was Fire Emblem Three Houses. Again, not too much of a surprise there, although another nominee was Dragon Quest XI S, and luckily Fire Emblem Three Houses was able to take the crown, and personally with me, Fire Emblem Three Houses, I actually really enjoyed that game. I think it was a really fun strategy game. I'm really deep into the story right now. I'm with the Golden House, whatever it's called, the Golden Deer House, and I've been having so much fun with the game. It is also my first Fire Emblem game, so I had no idea what I was going into, and I'm having lots of fun with the game right now. It's a really, really fun game with a great, beautiful story that has actually many stories into the game, and it's just amazing how Nintendo or Koei Tecmo or Intelligent Systems was able to make these three stories and combine them all into one, and all these stories are just great and amazing. Kudos to Fire Emblem. Best mobile game, Call of Duty Mobile. I was personally, I think Raid Shadow Legends was gonna be a nominee. I think it was, but I was probably expecting Raid Shadow Legends because of how much how much YouTubers were being sponsored by it and all the reviews on the game. Now, I haven't played Raid Shadow Legends, and I haven't been playing that many mobile games this year, but again, kudos to Call of Duty Mobile. Call of Duty is a huge franchise. Yeah, pretty expected. Studio game direction went to Kojima Productions with Death Stranding. Now, you see, before the Game Awards started, Death Stranding was nominated 8 times or something. I was concerned because I've seen reports that Death Stranding isn't that good. It's a good game, but it's not deserving of a 90 score on Metacritic. People were pressured to say that a Kojima game was bad because, well, I think a lot of people say that Kojima is a true artist of video games. He creates masterpieces. You all know the Metal Gear Solid franchise. He made that. And I think critics, well, what I heard from was that critics were just too scared to say that Death Stranding was a bad game because of all the backlash that they would get. Of course, IGN wasn't scared and gave Death Stranding a 7.9 out of 10, and they received a lot of backlash, so I understand how other gaming outlets wouldn't want to give it a bad score. But anyways, going back to the Game Awards, got nominated 8 times, and I was afraid it was gonna win a lot of them, which Spoiler warning, it didn't win too many, but it won some. And I just want to say, studio game direction to Kojima Productions, I think it deserved it. Like, who else would have gotten it? I don't know. Let's see. Any other things notable before we get to the main meats of this podcast? Ongoing game, Fortnite. Pretty expected, but what I was expecting was, excuse me, what I was expecting was Minecraft because, well, as you all know, Minecraft has been having a little resurgence this year, and Minecraft just spiked in popularity once again. And I'm kind of happy for Minecraft. Like you all know, I'm having so much fun with Minecraft right now, and I'm really happy for Minecraft. As well, Mojang or Microsoft Studios is just keeps on expanding Minecraft to make it better. And just gotta say, Minecraft is just more interesting than Fortnite. I'm sorry, you old 9-year-olds that will be typing in the comments right now. No, Fortnite's better. We like Fortnite. We like Fortnite. Well, I'm just here to say, I feel like Minecraft should have won ongoing game, but of course it didn't even get nominated. So, oh well. Best VR game, Beat Saber. Now, I have a Samsung Gear VR, but I don't have too many games for it, mainly because, well, I don't use the VR that much. I might get into it more, but Beat Saber, I heard it was a really, really fun game. My brother had a birthday party, like, last week, and he played Beat Saber. He said it was a blast, so kudos to them. We went through best fighting game. Best multiplayer game went to Apex Legends. Now, I expected something like Fortnite again, since it got nominated, and Minecraft didn't. But, oh well, Apex Legends takes the crown, even though it's, like, losing in relevancy very quickly. Best family game, like, Nintendo just dominated the family game nominees. Like, literally every game was a Nintendo game, which just, you know, it creates, like, this sort of stain on Nintendo, associating them with, oh, family friendly and not for hardcore people. And I just gotta say, Nintendo, you make great games, and family games are great and all, but you should cater to the more hardcore gamers a little bit more than the casuals. But again, kudos to Luigi's Mansion 3. As you all know, the 2 videos I made on Luigi's Mansion 3, I've had such a blast with that game. It's such an amazing, detailed game, and with all of its beautiful graphics, all the emotions in Luigi, it's just a game full of life and deserves, I feel like, I thought it should have been deserving of a Game of the Year nominee, but it got a Family Game nominee, which I'm not bugged with, like, but I don't really associate Luigi's Mansion 3 with too much of, like, multiplayer friendly, like, families on the couch playing Luigi's Mansion 3. I don't really see that. I see that as, like, I see Luigi's Mansion 3 as more of a single player game, and I feel like with all of its greatness and all of its emotion, graphics, just the rich detail and gameplay and how fun it is, I feel like it should have been deserving for a Game of the Year nominee. And now we move on to another thing that I actually care about. Game of the Year. Okay. So the Game of the Year nominees that were notable to me was Sekiro, Death Stranding, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, you all know me. I was rooting for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And what I've known from the Game Awards is that the awards win by popular vote from the website of the Game Awards. That's what I've seen and heard of. And with the chat, like, I've seen the chat go crazy for Smash Bros. Like, only 2 people for Death Stranding, 3 people for, like, Sekiro, and the rest was, like, just Smash Bros. But then it really surprised me. I felt this feeling in my stomach that Smash wasn't going to win and Death Stranding was going to win, but not even Death Stranding. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, won the Game of the Year. And I was really surprised. Like, I haven't really heard about Sekiro that much. I mean, from what I saw from the Game Awards footage, it was like the samurai. I've seen that, but really? Sekiro over Death Stranding, which has, like, lots of public perception, like, lots of media outlets reviewing it, and then other YouTubers being angry that people are just giving it such a good score when it deserves just a little bit lower. I was expecting Death Stranding to, like, get the Game of the Year since Kojima and Jeff Keighley are such great friends. And maybe he'd want to get it, but again, he tweeted one time, Jeff Keighley, about Death Stranding, saying that it's not his opinion, it's about the viewer's opinion. And it appears that Sekiro triumphed over the rest. And me rooting for Smash Bros, lots of people were rooting for Smash Bros. I was kind of disappointed because of all the hype and work about over Smash Bros, like with all the DLC fighters, all the heart poured into the game, all the hype poured into the game with all the DLC fighters. It really surprised me that it didn't win Game of the Year. And I was also really surprised that it was nominated for Game of the Year this year, which I didn't really think it would, and Fortnite last year didn't get nominated for the Game of the Year award. It didn't get nominated. Fortnite, that game, Fortnite, did not get nominated for the Game of the Year, and Smash Bros. Got nominated. Like, I associate Game of the Year, well, what I used to associate Game of the Year was, like, story-based games. And, well, me being a very dumb person, Game of the Year doesn't mean just story-based games. And my mind was like, oh, this could be a Game of the Year. Oh, wow. Why wasn't Fortnite nominated last year? But I don't care. I don't care about Fortnite anymore. Smash Bros. Didn't win Game of the Year. Just makes me still disappointed. And please type in the comments right now about Sekiro, because I barely know anything about it. But anyways, congratulations to Sekiro for winning Game of the Year. I was really surprised. I thought Death Stranding, more than Smash Bros, I thought Death Stranding was going to win. I was rooting for Smash Bros, but I had this doubt that Death Stranding was going to win. But anyways, let's get to the other topic, since this is a Nintendo Power podcast. We're going to be talking about the problems with the Game Awards, specifically with Nintendo. And now, if you're a Nintendo fanboy and you were watching the Game Awards, you came out really disappointed at the end. After the Game Awards ended, I went straight to Alfred's stream, and then I just remember, like, the stream was just maximizing in viewers right after the Game Awards ended, and I was really, really surprised. Mainly because everyone's probably pissed that Smash Bros. Didn't win the Game of the Year. They're like, oh, that's it? Okay, bye. So anyways, with Nintendo and the Game Awards, Nintendo didn't announce anything major, like first-party Nintendo stuff. Nintendo did nothing. Reggie did give a speech, which I just, that was like that speech was just heartwarming. With Reggie not working at Nintendo anymore, it was just heartwarming for him to still be at the Game Awards, not talking just about Nintendo, but games in general, and his tribute to, like, Satoru Iwata and his memoration, well, his thing with Shigeru Miyamoto. Sorry, I keep stuttering. I don't know. But it was just a really good speech, and I just really appreciated him being there. Now, with Nintendo, with no first-party announcement, just left everyone, well, Nintendo fanboys, very disappointed. Now, people were expecting stuff like Metroid 5 or a Super Metroid remake, which was heavily rumored before the Game Awards, or even Metroid Prime Trilogy. Come on, Nintendo, just release it. Or we're probably just waiting for Metroid Prime 4, but still, people don't want to start off with Metroid Prime. Like, Metroid Prime 4? I don't want to start with 4, I want to start with 1. Where did the series start? Come on, just give us some time, Nintendo, and just give us the game already. And now, people were also mostly expecting, the Breath of the Wild sequel to be at the Game Awards, and surprisingly, it wasn't there, which kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Like, what's in store for 2020? Like, after Animal Crossing New Horizons, it just seems very barren from Nintendo in 2019. And that's the big year when Sony and Microsoft are releasing the next generation of consoles, which, again, let me say this again, let me just say it now, I forgot to talk about it. Xbox released a video at the Game Awards talking about, it was just showing the new generation of Xbox. The Xbox Series X. Now, I'm just going to say it right here, right now. That name is on Wii U levels bad. Series X, like, someone, like, little Billy for Christmas would want an Xbox Series X. And Grandma's going to be like, oh, Series X? Well, there's one called Xbox One X. That one's cheaper. Similar. Very similar name. I don't know. I'll just get this. Cheaper. Ha ha ha. Yeah, people are going to get confused, but I don't think it will be like a Wii U failure because just the name Wii U didn't fail. Like, didn't make the Wii U fail. Well, it made the Wii U fail in one portion, but not just that made the Wii U fail. Like, the Wii U had terrible marketing. I don't think Xbox will have terrible marketing. So yeah, I've heard that the Xbox and PlayStation are going to be insanely powerful consoles. And with the Xbox Series X being like a tower-shaped console, like sort of like a PC engine thing, I know that's going to be really, really powerful. And with the Nintendo Switch not even being as powerful as a base PS4, it's just not going to compete with the Xbox Series X and PS5. It's just not going to compete. So Nintendo needs to release, like, a Switch Pro or, like, some game that can push the Nintendo Switch's CPU to the limits. Something like, Metroid Prime 4, which we've heard that Retro Studios is trying to make Metroid Prime 4 cutting edge, like an amazingly beautiful, graphic-intensive game. And another game that could be cutting edge is, The Legend of Zelda sequel. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. Maybe Nintendo just did this as a marketing tool and just didn't release anything for the Game Awards. Didn't show us anything at the Game Awards and is saving all of that for their own presentations, like Nintendo Directs or E3s or their YouTube or Twitter, just their thing for that. Or maybe Nintendo saved those games because they were just thinking that maybe Sony or Microsoft will be showing off their new generation of consoles, and they don't want that to take away from their brand new footage games. Maybe that's why. I don't know. We may never know. it just 2020 feels empty for Nintendo right now, but I don't know, Nintendo may throw a curveball in January and give us like a bunch of games for 2020. Maybe they'll show off The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. Who knows, but I have a feeling, since maybe, if I'm wrong, if they just didn't release any footage for Breath of the Wild sequel at the Game Awards because it wasn't ready, it's just not going to come in 2020. And might just come in 2021, or hopefully not 2022. Because they already have the engine. They're reusing the engine from Breath of the Wild, which took 5 years. Most of the development was for the engine. So it shouldn't take that long. Or they're saving Breath of the Wild for like a launch title for the Switch Pro to compete against games like the newly announced Hellblade at the Game Awards. Now I thought that game was just like a CGI trailer, but no, Xbox is saying it's all fully rendered, and that's gonna look insane. The next generation of consoles are gonna look insane, and Nintendo needs to combat something. That realistic graphics, those beautiful and gorgeous rendering. They're gonna need to combat it with something, and nothing. They don't really have anything to combat it. Like, Mario isn't really cutting edge. Metroid Prime 4 could be cutting edge, but it's not even close to finished. And their only option is, well, The Legend of Zelda, which hasn't always been cutting edge, but most of the time it has been cutting edge. And now with the Game Awards, my thoughts on it. There was so many ads. Like, there was segments of the Game Awards where they just announced the winners, not even like a few seconds of the developers taking their trophies. Like, for the best family game or best best strategy game, Fire Emblem won best strategy game, and Luigi's Mansion 3 won best family game. Doug Bowser didn't even come up. He didn't even get his trophy. Like, they were just like, alright, best winner, Fire Emblem, alright, cool. Next category, like, they didn't even take the time to notify that. All that time, just to save time for the ads, for those gosh darn ads for Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering. Okay, Jeff Keighley. It just felt a lot like that. Like, it just felt like they were just zooming by many awards just to get like 2 to 3 to 4 minute ads about Magic the Gathering. I don't care. Where are the awards? We're celebrating video games here. Anyways, with that, this podcast is a wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed tuning in. Sorry that no one was here to talk with me. I think it's pretty easy. It's easier to talk when someone is here, so it can just roll off right off the tongue. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this Power Podcast, and I hope to see you all later, and I hope that you all tune in to the next one, which is probably next month. So, I hope I got everything down, and I hope for you all to tune in next year. So, thank you guys for supporting the Nintendo Boys Power Podcast, and we will see you all next year. And also, just wanted to remind you guys, it's been a full year ever since we started the Nintendo Boys Power Podcast. I think it's been a full year. I'm pretty sure it is. But I just want to say, if it is, thank you all for one whole year of service for the Nintendo Boys Power Podcast. I hope you will tune in for some more later. Goodbye, and thank you for tuning in.